I'm Miles Brandman, and this is the 2019 McLaren 570S Spider. It has all of the performance of the 570S coupe with the benefit of a hardtop retractable roof. Let's go take a look. And there she is, in all of her spectacular orange glory. The 570S Spider is the most affordable McLaren convertible, but don't mistake affordable for cheap or entry level, because nothing about this supercar is underwhelming. Not the design, not the performance, not the interior quality. So I'll start by discussing the exterior design. The Sports Series McLaren models have a very expressive face. You can almost see a smiley grin below, and some people mock that. I personally think it looks just fine, very aggressive, and these expressive headlights are kind of fun. The LED daytime running lights above the jewel eye headlights stand out day and night. This dark painted lower fascia incorporates air channels to the front tires and brakes to cool those. These strakes on the hood, just beautiful. The front angle is absolutely my favorite. Most imposing look of the 570S Spider. These wheels, staggered 19-inch front, 20-inch rear, are wrapped in Pirelli P0 tires with standard carbon ceramic brakes, incredible stopping power. Some 570S badging on the lower sill, and beautifully integrated aerodynamics within the vehicle. Air passes within the door here and then over the top of it into these air intakes that are routed to the mid-mounted twin-turbo V8. With the roof stowed, you can see these big buttresses above each passenger that kind of remind me of the Lamborghini Murcielago in a favorable exotic car kind of way. Low, sleek profile. And it's hard to tell how small the 570S actually is until you park it next to a modern crossover even. It looks like such a small vehicle. Hard to tell in photos. The rear look is not my favorite on the car. Not that it isn't dramatic, but just that it's a little monotone with all of this gray paneling in the back of the car. At night, when those boomerang LED taillights are showing, it has a bit more character to it. I do love the integrated spoiler as a duck lip to the tail end there. I wish you could see more of the engine for sure. It's within this honeycomb grating here, but you just can't see into it very much. As you duck below the car, you can see this big diffuser with the exhaust ports integrated within the design of it. It almost keeps a continuous line along the lower portion. And you duck into here and you can kind of see the engine. You can see how low mounted it is to keep the vehicle center of gravity low. Broad hips. I'm going to go open up the door so we can see that dihedral mechanism. The button to release the door is just beneath the sill here, so you press up on it, the door releases, and you pull up. So cool. Within the door are a few buttons here, so you can pop open this tiny little back piece that allows an owner or mechanic to put in washer fluid and oil. You can't really mess with anything else back here, and you don't really want to, because that could be a very expensive mistake. Buttons here to open and close the tonneau cover where the roof closes and rests. And when it's up and deployed, there's a bit of space back there to store some flat items or a squishy bag. The other storage of the vehicle is within the front trunk, and it's actually a pretty good size recess. You could store a carry-on size bag and maybe an additional backpack or two up there. The interior is just spectacular, and I'm gonna hop in the car and move it just a bit forward so we're out of the direct sunlight. All right, that's better. So here we can see a fully digital display. Very easy to read. The dial changes depending on your drive mode. So here's McLaren's activation panel. You hit the active button here, and then the H stands for handling and the P stands for powertrain. So you have normal, sport, and track settings for both of those. You have a launch button down here, which you can activate by putting both settings in sport and pressing the electronic stability control button once. That puts it in a dynamic traction control setting. You then put your foot hard on the brake and then mat the throttle, and then you release the brake, and the car uses the stability control system to launch the car perfectly every time. And that's how you hit 60 miles per hour in just 3.1 seconds. This is the automatic start stop. You can turn that off just at the touch of a button. And then this button here puts the gear shifting into manual mode, so you can just use the paddles on the steering wheel to control up and down shifts. The steering wheel itself is really good looking, made out of carbon fiber with this Alcantara layering over it. More Alcantara on the headliner here. And then the orange details pop so much within the cabin. They're within the dashboard, the door inserts, and then the seats themselves within the inserts, and then as orange stitching throughout the cabin. Certainly helps with the wow factor of the vehicle. This car also has the optional Bowers & Wilkins sound system. It's a 12-speaker system. Fantastically clear audio. I love the look of this little teardrop up here on the dashboard. Full leather wrapping for the dash. It has a 7-inch Android-based infotainment system that I'm not a huge fan of. It works okay, but it's not on the cutting edge, and it has some issues with lag and delay, and it's not the most intuitive thing in the world. Down here is another 570 badge. One cup holder up there, another there, and then a storage compartment down here. And then if I want to stow the roof, I press and hold this button here, and it takes just 15 seconds. And you can do this at speeds up to 30 miles an hour. quick and painless. All right, I'm gonna hop out of the car and we'll talk about the powertrain real quick. Okay, 3.8 liter twin turbo V8. It makes 560 horsepower, 562 horsepower, and 443 pound-feet of torque. 7-speed dual clutch automatic transmission, 0 to 60, 3.1 seconds, top speed of 204 miles an hour. Pricing. The coupe version of the 570S starts at $188,000. If you want the convertible, that is $208,000. To put that into context for you, the Audi R8 Spider, the entry-level version, is $178,000. If you want the V10 model, that's $200,000. So when you think about what this competes against, the Ferrari 488 Spider, the Lamborghini Huracan Spider, this is significantly cheaper than both of those vehicles. And when you compare this to an Audi R8 Spider, the R8 just seems pedestrian. This really has visual impact. The performance is sensational. McLaren is an engineering company above all else, and their vehicles feel so smooth at speed. It wouldn't be a question for me between this and an R8 Spider. Obviously, if you have the money to spend, the Lamborghini Huracan Spider is a very exciting vehicle, and the Ferrari is, well, it's a Ferrari. But McLaren has really found its niche with the Sports Series models, in my opinion. They did a fantastic job on this car. Alrighty, so that is the 2019 McLaren 570S Spider. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I'll talk to you soon.